Alright, this is the explanation of for week number 5, the assignment number 4 and 5. Alright, so okay, so as you can see here, let me show you. Okay, this is programming 5. Okay, I'll explain step by step to you guys so you guys can understand easily, and yeah, enjoy. Alright, the question asks, write a Python code that find out the lowest difference between two numbers from a given list. Note that the number in given list can be changed. So I took this as an example. So this is given on the sample, right? So you take this, you put it here. So this is the same as the sample. All right, so to get the difference between two numbers, you have to minus, right? So let's say that you take 200. So let's say you take 10 minus 200, right? This will give you negative number. It will give you negative 190, right? Yep. So you want to minus all these numbers. You want to minus 100 with 10, and you want to minus 10 with 200. This will give you negative number. And you want to minus 200 with 25. You want to minus 25 with 7, and you want to minus 7 with 20. So this will give you negative number as well. So you don't want negative number because, so let's say that if you minus two number and you want to see the difference, you don't want negative, right? You want to see, 0 and 1 is different. 0 and 1, the difference is 1, right? You don't want to get minus 1 or minus 2 or something, right? So with that being said, you want this list to be sorted so that you don't get minus. So how do you don't get minus by sorting the list? I'll explain. Okay, so let's do it again. All right, so this is the list. You see 10, 100, 10, 200, 25, 7, 20 is here on the left hand side. All right, so if you write this code sort number, so this mean that sort the numbers is this, you declare a variable called numbers already. So the number contain a list of numbers. So you said, okay, sort the numbers and put into the new declared variable called numbers. So essentially replacing this thing. So when you sort this, you make sure to look at this thing when I click. So keep an eye on this. So it's sort. So you can see that before it was 110, now it's 7, 10, 20, 25, 100, 200. So this means that it sorted by smallest to biggest number, so ascending order. So 7, 10 is like going up, so it's like smallest to biggest. So now it sorts the number, right? This is good. So now you can say, okay, if you take number 10 minus 7, it will give you positive. If you take 25 minus 20, it will give positive. If you get 10, 100 minus this, positive. But if you minus like 7 minus 10, it's gonna give negative. So you have to keep in mind that you have to get the second element first and then minus the first element. So with this, you have to get this element, so it will be fourth element minus the third element, the fifth element minus the sixth element minus the fifth element. All right, so it's like that. So if you just minus like 7 minus 10, you will get negative. So you don't want negative. So you want to know that which is the smallest different, right? So with that, you just want to declare a variable named diff. So it's essentially different. So how many different? So you want to set this to infinity. Why you want to set this infinity? Because you want to get the value as high as possible. So when you minus this 2, so when you minus 10 minus 7, you get 3. And 3 you have to do less than infinity number. So 3 is less than infinite, less than 100,000. So some millions, billions. Okay, let's say billion. 3 less than billion. So yes, 3 is less than billion, so you want to update 3. You want to keep 3 in the diff, right? So this is just like a starter. This is a starter code. When you do this thing, you have a starter. This is just for a boiler starter code. So you just set this to 1 billion, all right? So just ignore this for now, you will understand why. So this is 1 billion. You just set it 1 billion, okay? Next, you wanna look, so you cannot do it manually, right? So they said like, the number in a given list might be changed. So what if this number is like, in the list, what if this is 6 elements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are 6 elements. What if there are 600 elements, 6,000 elements? You cannot do manually, right? You have to have some loop going to the list, looping to the list. So you get the first number, second number, third numbers, fourth number, fifth number, and so on and so forth until you reach the last element, right? So with this, you write a loop. So you want to loop to the last element. So if you don't understand length numbers, so essentially I'll explain what is length number. So let's say that let's get this code so it's more easy for you guys to understand. So let's say I declare a variable named number, which is contains 6 elements, right? So if I do length number, this will give me 6 because it says there's 6 elements. So let's say I add one more, which is 60, right? So if I do length again, this will give me 7 because there are 7 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this will give me 7. If I minus this, right, this will give me 6. All right. So you get the how many elements on the list. All right. Pretty simple. So this gets 6, right? This is number 6. So okay, so ignore -1 for now. I'll explain it later. For now, just ignore -1. So this will you will get 6. So essentially, if you write a for loop like this, for I in range, so for I in range 6, right? This is 6. So you just put number 6 here like this, and if you print I, you get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are 6 numbers, but if you count from 0, there are 5. If you count from starting from 1, there are 6. So if you count, like you see, this is 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 numbers, and this is 3 numbers. But if you start from 0, you will see 5. All right. So essentially, this is the same thing here. So essentially, I contains number. So it will go through 6 times. So it will go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So remember, it starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Okay. So now you know what I contain. I contain a number. So it will go through the list. Okay. And so you don't know what is this, right? I'll explain what is this. This is called list indexing. All right, list indexing. So for this, so let's say I have a number. So I declare a number in a list. Let's say I want the first element of the number. I can do something like this. So that means that, get me the list and get me the first element of the list. So essentially, when the human language, we say number 1 is first, but in computer 0 is number 1. Okay, so essentially you said, okay, give me the first element, which is 0, is this. So if you want 10, you have to do 1. So that means number 2, number 1 is number 2 in computer. All right, so they will give you 10. So let's say if you want number this guy, so you count in the computer way. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I do 5, I get 20, right? If I do 0, I get 100. This is 100, this is 5. All right, so this is list indexing. I get the number. So now you know this, right? So you can say, I can do something like 1, I get 10. So you can do minus number 0, right? so it will get minus 90 because I get this is 10 minus 100 is minus 90. So you think, oh, we can do like this. Yep, exactly, we are doing like this, but inside a loop, inside a for loop. So with just manually putting numbers, I use a for loop to do it for us. So you can see I have I. So this is just list indexing, as same as what I explained here, but I just put I here. So what it does is it will go through the list and slowly compare both. So let's see. So I said if number I plus 1. So you can see here up here that I is 0 because I said I will go to until 6, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Technically it's 5 because I minus 1, but forget about it. So it will go to 6, right? So 0, I is 0, you can see I is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1, right? So let's say if I do number 1, I get 10, right? But remember that we sort the list already, right? So 0 plus 1 is 1. So it says, oh, get the number and go to the position 1. So position 1 is this, is 10. So this would become 10, alright? So if you cannot catch up, rewind this video and look again. So this would become 10. Alright, so now we see. So remember I is 0, still 0 because it did not go to next iteration, it's still 0. So number 0, so it means this one, so it means the first character. So if I do number 0, it gives me 100, right? So this is 0, so it will give me 7. So 10 minus 7 is 3. So it will do this computation. So this whole statement is 3, number 3. So essentially the diff was 1 billion, right? You remember 1 billion. So this is just a boilerplate. You just write, you just start because you want to compare with some number so that you know which one is the smallest difference. So 3 is less than billion. So 3 is less than billion. Yes, because 3 is less than billion. Alright, so if it's less than billion, I want to update the diff to number 3. So this is just the same as this code. You see, it's highlighted the same. So this was 10 before, and now this is also 10 minus 7 is 3. It will do this computation. This computation is the same as this computation up here. So this will get 3, and diff equals number 3, right? Diff equals number 3. You understand this? Alright, I hope you understand. If you don't understand, please rewind and watch again. Okay, so now your diff is 3, number 3. Before it was 1 billion, now it's number 3. Okay, now you go to next iteration. So next iteration, the I will become 1. Okay, the I become 1. Okay, so now you check that I is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, right? So number 2 is this, right? And number I, right? Number I is 1. I is 1, right? I is 1, and number I, okay, number 1. So number 1 is 10. So you see, before it took 10 and 7. Now it's taking 2 and 1, and it will sooner or later it will take 3 and 2 and stuff. So it's taking 2. So this is I plus, so 1 plus 1 is 2. It will take this. So this is 20 minus 10. This is 10 because this is 1, and it is getting the number 1 here. So this is index 1, so it's getting 10. So 20 minus 10 is 10. So this statement would be 10, and you remember that diff was 3. We update the diff as 3. So 10 less than 10 less than, how do we, 10 less than 3. Is 10 less than 3? 10, we have 10 balls less than 3. No, 10 is greater than 3, right? So if it's not less than 3. So you don't want to update. You want to update if the number is less than 3. But if the number is greater than 3, you don't want to update. Because if you update the diff to 10, then you don't get the smallest diff because you only want to keep the smallest difference, right? So now it will not run this code, it will just skip this, it will go to next iteration. So it will just skip this, you see, it will go to this up here because it doesn't do this. So it said, oh, I don't have to do this line, so I'll go to next iteration. So next iteration, I will become 2, right? I become 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. So you go to position 3, which is 25. And number I is 2. So you go position number 2, which is 20. So you can see that 25. So 25 minus 20 is 5. 5 less than 3? No, 5 is not less than 3. So same as before. So if it's not less than 3, you go to next iteration. Okay. So it does this again, again and again until it finish. And so it finds so let's say these two things, let's say this is 2 and this is 1, right? 2 minus 1 is 1 and diff is 3. So 1 is less than 3. Yep, 1 is less than 3, so you update the diff. You know what I mean? So if this side is less than the diff, you want to update the diff because you want to update the smallest number. This is just checking if it is the smallest number, and this is just updating the number. All right, and then you print the diff because you're keeping the diff, the smallest diff. So you just print the diff, right? Okay. Hope you understand this. This is pretty simple for most of guys. So why minus 1, right? So you asked me, so I'll explain why I put minus 1 here. So let's say that I essentially told you guys that I will go to until 6, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if you count like in human way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it will go until 6, right? So imagine that if I were number 6, 6 plus, so I is 6, okay? Imagine I is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. But in this element, there's only 6 numbers. So there's no 7th element. That will cause an error because there's no 7th element. It will say, oh, I cannot index the 7th element. There's no 7th element in here. There's only 6 element. So it will cause an error. If I minus 1, the essentially it will go, so this is 6. If I minus 1, it will be 5. So this whole statement is 5. So the I will go to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 6 times. If you count in computer, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 6 in human, right? So if you minus this one time, it will not cause an error because the I will go until 5, and 5 plus 1 is 6, which is this number. It's good. And then you take the I, 5 is 6, right? So you do like this. Alright, hope you understand. If you don't understand, you rewind again. So we will go to next assignment, which is number 5. So number 5 is the same thing. I don't want to explain again. So number 5 is you just do the same thing, same code. You sort the number. You just do this to get 1 billion. You do the same thing. You minus 1. You check if it's different, but you want to do it separately. So you want to create the variable name number A and diff A because you want to essentially see which is the smallest diff, right? So you find the smallest different in this list first. So it's essentially given in here. You see, these two lists. So you find the smallest number in here. So you will get the smallest number in diff A. So as I explained in assignment 4, you keep the smallest number in diff. So this will keep the smallest number in diff A. So this is done, okay? It will find the smallest number and keep it in diff A. Same code as before, I explained this. And this is number B. So this is numbers another set, all right? Which is this one, another set, another list, all right? So you do the same thing, but you keep it on diff B. Remember, this is diff A and diff B. It's not the same, all right? So now you get two smallest number. You get the smallest number of A and smallest number of B. So this you get the smallest number of this list, you put it in diff B, and you get smallest number of this list, keep it on diff A, and you see if it's let's see the question. Alright, so the lowest difference between two numbers is 0. Alright, so it says that you wanna see which is the lowest number, right? The lowest number. So you wanna know which is the lowest number in between two lists, right? But you already have the smallest difference from two lists, so you can just compare, right? So you can just compare that. You can compare if diff A is greater than diff B, so that means that the differentiate between this list is greater than this list. You just print the lowest number in 2 is diff B, because if A is greater than B, that means that B is less than A, right? So if this side is bigger than this side, that means this side is smaller than this side. So you want to print the smallest because it's the lowest. Else you just print the biggest. You just print the other thing. So if this statement is wrong, so let's say that this is number 3, this is number 3, and this is number 1. So this will say wait, no. So if this one, so let's say that diff A, let's say diff A is 3 and diff B is 1. So 3 greater than 1, yes, it will go to this statement and print diff B. So diff B is 1 because it's the lowest, right? Okay, you understand this, right? Right. So if I say diff A is 1 and diff B is 3, so it will say 1 greater than 3. No, 1 is not greater than 3. Okay, I will not do this statement. But I will do this statement because this is false. If it's false, I will go to here. So it will run this statement. It will say, okay, print diff A. So diff A is the lowest, right? It's the lowest number because it's 1, and 1 is lower than 3. Yes, print this. Alright, hope you understand this. So it's a little bit complicated, but I think if you rewind my video and watch again and again slowly, you will understand what I'm saying. But yeah, I think you will understand what I'm saying soon if you rewind and watch. But yeah, it's simple. This one is just you calculate the diff here, the differentiate between here and here, and you just print the smallest differentiate between two lists, right? Alright, so that's it for this video. Hope you understand. If you don't understand, you can leave a comment on my channel, or you can message me on Instagram if you're my friend. If you're not my friend, you can just leave a comment on my video. I'll respond to them. Alright, thank you.